It's Mr. Waller here, back at it again with this week's video lesson. This week, we're going to be looking behind the scenes and looking into some of the most interesting aspects and most important aspects of stage tech, lighting. Let's get started. Now, why is lighting so important? Well, if we didn't have light, all you'd see was this. Yeah, real exciting, right? It's like there could be a clown ready to murder you at any point in this, and you never know they were there. Okay, let's get back to light. Thank you. So yeah, we kind of need light to see, right? But it goes a bit deeper with that when it comes to theater. We're gonna go over 3 different basic concepts of stage lighting for you: the fixtures themselves, the equipment, the color, and the angles we use at them. It's gonna be a very science-heavy lesson this week, so get ready for it. No, sorry, he's not gonna be here. I tried. Sorry. Okay, let's go. So, in the theater business, there are hundreds and hundreds of different fixtures that any company could use at any time. What I'm going to talk about are the ones you'll see the most frequently, and that is incandescent and LED. Incandescent are the most common ones you come across. They've got a lot of different names: source 4s, pans, Fresnels. Basically, though, they all work kind of the same way. It's a big, heavy metal box with fixtures and glass and lighting and angles that make the beam focus more. And then there is the bulb itself, or the lamp is what we call it. The entire light is what we call the fixture. It's a lighting fixture. And then the lamp inside is what you would call the bulb. Now, incandescents all work the same basic way. There's this big giant metal fixture, and then the bulb itself. Now, these are not your typical desk lamp levels of lighting. Your desk lamp or your household lamp is going to have a regular spread of like maybe 4 feet and not get that hot, right? These things are meant to get light hundreds of feet away and can get incredibly hot. Hot enough to fry an egg on them. Trust me, I've tried it. It's fun. So incandescents work in very similar ways that your common light bulb works. There's a glass envelope, there's a filament inside that ignites with gas. These are just much, much brighter and burn a lot hotter. They're actually a bit more fragile than your common household light bulb. The lamp itself actually is a lot more fragile than a common light bulb because you can't touch the glass with your bare hand. The oil from your skin that naturally just is there actually coats the lamp, and when it starts to burn and get hot, it actually expands and bubbles and burns. They look a lot like this. I have a couple of these in my classrooms to show students, hey, don't touch these with your hands, always wear a glove. If they do heat up enough, it is possible they could explode. I've been doing stage tech for half my life. I've never seen any of these actually explode before like you see in the movies. Have I tried under a controlled circumstance and protective equipment and under adult supervision to purposely make it explode? Those are incandescents. They're big, bulky, but they get the job done. They've been around forever. It's been the industry standard for a long, long time. Until we get to the end of the 2010s. Here's what happened. So around 2010, 2011, we had this brand new technology came forward in the world of theater. LED. LED stands for light emitting diode. That's these little weird things you see inside that kind of look like light bulbs. They're called diodes. I don't exactly know how they work, but here's what they do. So the LED fixtures are a ton lighter than the old incandescent ones. They're a lot lighter, they're easier to work with, you only have to hang them up once, and they're great. Honestly, they're super great. They burn 3 to 5 times brighter than a regular incandescent, plus they use a lot less energy to keep lit. Broadway started installing these things around 2011, 2010. The first one just died at the beginning of 2020. Kind of a harbinger for things to come, I guess. Most importantly, the big thing that LEDs changed was color. You see, with the old incandescents, the only way to change the color of the light is to use something called a gel. See, in order to change the color of an incandescent light like this, you have to use what's called a gel. They used to be made out of gelatin actually back in the day, like Jell-O, but a lot less sugar and a lot more, of course, smooth. So gels now are thin sheets of plastic you put in front of the lighting fixture to change its color. It seems pretty simple, but that's all they really do, honestly. Now that's pretty simple, right? But when you have an auditorium or a theater full of hundreds of lights, and you want all of them to have color, and trust me, you do, regular boring light is not good for your scene. It's just not. That's gonna take a ton of time to go up on a ladder or a lift, Change all the gels out, put them back in. It takes a long time. It's a lot of manpower. LEDs, however, the diodes we talked about, can change color based on whatever software you have going to your lighting board. So they can change color instantly. It's so cool. It's so easy. It's fantastic to work with. And you don't have stage techs running up and down ladders all day long trying to change gels. They're awesome. They're great. Everyone should have them. The problem is they're a bit pricier. They're a lot bit pricier, actually. And you need special software and a special board in order to make them work. But if you're willing to, then it works great. Now that we're on the subject, let's talk about color. What if I were to tell you that you've been lied to your entire life? That your 3 primary colors are wrong? Yeah. So, your 3 primary colors, of what you know, are red, blue, and yellow. However, that is wrong. Well, kind of. Here's the thing. So, red, blue, and yellow are the primary colors for pigment. If you're working with paint, or watercolor, or anything that's like physical or dyes, those are your 3 primary colors, right? With lighting, though, it's different. Lighting is red, blue, and green. That goes back to the visible spectrum of light that our human eyes can see. Kind of like back to the prism you've seen before, right? White light goes in, rainbow comes out. Our eyes and the way light mixes uses these 3 colors instead of the usual red, blue, and yellow. So your color wheel has now just changed, right? So red and blue, instead of purple, now it makes magenta. Blue and green now makes cyan. You know, cyan a little sus. And red and green now make yellow. Kind of. Yellow is actually an unnatural color of light. It usually takes special equipment or tools to try and make yellow light on stage. It's pretty tricky to work with. That's why you don't see a lot of designs using it, because yellow is a really hard color to make happen on stage. So when lighting designers are mixing colors, this is the color wheel they use. I honestly get my own colors mixed up sometimes because I'm so used to this one too. And it's important to know these differences because trying to light a scene will make things differently. Red light on some black clothes makes them look blue. So that's why it's important to always talk with your other designers and make sure you're using the right fabrics and right lighting to make sure that your colors aren't going to change on stage. The most important thing that color does is affect mood. It affects the mood of a scene. Think about if you opened up a scene on a dark and stormy night, right? You'd use a lot of blues, lots of grays, lots of, dark, gloomy colors. You wouldn't really use a bright pink in a murder scene. Okay, you wouldn't normally use bright pink in a murder scene. Get out of here. So that's the basics of color theory. The theory that different colors affect the way that you think. That's why lots of different ads and companies go into a lot of scientific research to try and figure this out. Red is like a red emergency color. It's back to our survival instincts of red is blood. That means danger, emergency. That's why our stop signs and other road things are now red, right? Blue is the color of the sky. It's calming. It makes us think and thoughtful. Look at all these tech companies that use blue in their logos to try and convey that same message. So you have the right tools. You have the right colors. Now, how do I light this giant blank stage? So the first thing you want to do is establish a good wash of the stage. A wash is just a broad, general blanket of light that covers the stage. Lots and lots of designers like to use a warmer color, like amber or like more of an orangish color, right? That just makes the whole scene look warmer, right? So a wash, broad spread. If you were to look at this, you would probably say, oh, that's a spotlight. It's actually not technically a spotlight, no. This is called a special light. It's a light that fixes in one spot, one time the entire show, and it's called the special. It looks like a spotlight, but it's just a colloquialism that people kind of forgot about. This, however, is a spotlight. It's a moving spotlight. This one is actually handled manually by a stage person, and it follows the actor on stage with like this big like cannon thing. It's pretty fun to use actually. So we have wash, special, and spotlight. Those are your 3 general angles you'll be using. So now let's talk about the angles you should be using. A lot of times you want to be using a diagonal angle, using a warm and a cool color to make a natural looking face. Think about when you go at a campfire and someone starts saying ghost stories. What's the first thing they do with the light? They shine it up and backwards and it goes up into their face, right? Like this? Right. Why is that so scary? Well, think about it. All the lights you see in your life are coming from above. Nope, not now, not now, not now! All light that you know of naturally comes from above you. You rarely have light that comes from below you. That's what creates these unnatural looking shadows. It's unnerving, it's creepy. There shouldn't be light coming from that direction, it should be coming from up top. Like, think about it. Why do most buildings not light from the floor? Wouldn't it be easier to light from the floor? It probably would, but we like a natural source of light coming down from the top. So, general lighting for any scene you want with your actors. You want a warm diagonal across the face to the right side, and a cold one to the left side. That way it keeps things nice and balanced, and the colors like mix well, and it's all nice and pretty, and your actor looks awesome on stage. And there you have it. Those are your basics on lighting. Congratulations, you now can go be a lighting designer anywhere you want. Maybe not quite. Hold off on that. If you're in class now, I turn the time over to your in-classroom teacher. And if you're online, head into the modules and get to work. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe. Bye-bye!